Too funny, as I was walking this way, I thought I heard the honk of a heron. And I'm like, all right, oh, got a couple of them. So I slowly came around the corner, and he was flying through, but he was white. We got a white one. So I thought it was a seagull. But then I saw the long legs. And that's another heron. And then I could see that way across the lake. I don't know if I can point to it or not because I can't see my screen. But like way over like there somewhere is the heron. That's where he likes to fish. But way here on the shoreline, somewhere, I can't see my finger. Anyways, there's a white one. And if I go back to where I also see the other one, he's in his normal spot. Where he goes, looks at me, he's walking. Is he gonna fish? He's gonna go hide. He's gonna go hide under the tree. Say, nope, you can't see me. If I do, I see you. I know you're there. Look at you, pretty bird. You're so white. Usually we see gray ones. Let's see if I can zoom in. Again, I'm outside and I can never see what's on my screen. Oh, there we go. Now I see you. Now I've got you. Look at you, beauty. Hello, thanks for visiting. I appreciate you. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna fly. Oh, and back to another part. Nice. Oh, got my other glasses on. Woohoo! Happy Monday! Well, that makes my day. See if I can go that way, maybe. See if he flies again, which I won't see till I'm editing. But anyways, yeah, I told Wayne I'm taking my walk. He says, well, tell the bird I said hi. I'm like, okay. Yesterday we took a walk just around our neighborhood, and as we were walking, all of a sudden off to our right, the heron went flying. So again, it must have been behind some trees that we hadn't seen him at first. And then he flew, and then we just thought he flew all the way down the channel out to this open lake here. And we kept walking, and then all of a sudden he, was in our side view again, and he flew again, and he did the same thing like what this one just did. He just flew out and went a little bit, and then back to the shoreline and landed. So I was like, oh, all right. We got to see the heron a couple times. Made sure that we saw him. He flew, got in our eyesight, and so that's awesome. Very neat, very neat. Love it. Anyways, yep, Monday. Got my exercising done. Sweating, sweat's dripping down my back. So it's like, all right, yep, let's get the walk done right away, and then it's shower time, and then pretty much start my day. I'm hoping to actually make film, the zucchini soup. So I did make that last weekend just with a bunch of stuff I had in the freezer, and it turned out good. I really liked it. So I thought, okay, well, I'll make another pot today. I only had the frozen zucchini. That's okay. Otherwise, we had to buy fresh ingredients for the rest of it. But, yeah, that's my plan for today. Tomorrow is booked. So, we'll see what... So I figured, well, today's usually catch-up day. But I'm like, well, we'll see if I get something filmed. That would be good. Other than that, not much going on. The back is looking okay. I had Wayne change my bandage again yesterday. I've been kind of going every other day. Today's actually 4 weeks. With that healing from when I had it removed. So that's looking good. It's finally healing. It's finally almost more flat. Whereas before I had the big divot in it from where she cut out, and it was a big divot, and then it had the red, almost like pinkish ring around it a little bit. And then as it healed, the skin was kind of coming up a little bit. Now it's, like I said, a little bit more flat. It's just a little bit pink all over. Make sure there's no bugs biting me as I'm standing here in the weedy area. But yeah, so the back is healing, so that's good. Still hurts a little bit. Still get pinches here and there. Like again, today exercising, I'm like, I can feel it. But again, it's healing, so that's good. What else? So I can put my midline scar. I'm still healing. It still surprises me. I'm like, man, I'm almost at 2 years past surgery. Ooh, lose my sunglasses. I'm almost at 2 years past surgery, and even with that, it's like I wore my pants up on my waistline the other day, and I was doing that for a while, and after a little bit it was hurting. I got somebody stopped here, so I'm gonna go. Oh, that was my neighbor. She came to see the heron too. So I told her, I'm like, it's a white one, it's different. We haven't had that one here before. I said, and then we had the 2 other ones, and so she was all excited too. She was like, I love that. She said, I love living here. I love seeing all this. Like, where can you go? Where can you live that you can see all these things and such a beautiful atmosphere? I'm like, exactly. That's why I like living here too. This is very nice. I've liked it all the time I've been here. I've seen all kinds of different animals, different nature. It's very nice. Anyways, so yeah, what was I thinking? Oh, the other day, I think probably when I went out to lunch, yeah, I had my waistband up and I had it over the bag and everything. And again, I think by the time I got home, it was just kind of like, oh, annoying. I had to get that off. I'm still hurting. But so be it. Yesterday I colored Cassie's hair, so that went well. I put on a pair of my looser shorts and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I wore that over my waistband only because I'm wearing a clear bag, and I'm like, oh, she's watching videos, she doesn't care that anyways, really, but because I can. If I wear my looser waistband. The other thing I like about summer, I like being able to wear shorts. I like, less clothes. Once you start wearing the pants and the sweatshirt and you got more on there, then it restricts your movement a little bit and all that. Shorts are nice. But gotta appreciate it for the few months that we have it. So again, like I said, it's 73 today, sunny, not a cloud in the sky, a little bit of a breeze, so that's nice. We're supposed to have this all week, so that's good too. It's warmed up just that little bit again, so it's not cold. We actually had to turn the air back on yesterday because it was getting too warm in the house. It cooled off again my last night, but it was like, we'll just leave it on for now. And then we're thinking it'll be warmer again this week. I've appreciated also having the doors open and not having the air running. Just opening it all up, getting the fresh air in. But that's what's going on here. Don't have any plans this week other than the usual. Exercising, walking, and videotaping. That's life. It's alright. I'm having fun doing it. So, I hope you guys are enjoying your weather, getting out for your walks, getting your fresh air, enjoying things, having some good times, getting out on the weekends maybe, getting together with family, having some fun. Gotta do that. Life is short. Get some fun in. Trees are turning a little bit more. It's so beautiful. We've got some pretty daisy flowers blooming. Cute. Got some geese hanging out on our lake. This is usually a stop for them when they migrate. We get a whole bunch of them, so I haven't seen any in a while, a couple weeks, so looks like it's time. They are coming. Here comes another heron. Oh, and there's another one over there. There's 2 of them. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, yay! It's been a long time since I've seen 2 together. Oh. Garden update. Looks like I may or may not still get a couple peppers. I won't doubt the chippies will steal them. And same, I got a couple over there. I still have a flower. I do have a couple green beans actually on that plant, which is interesting. Surprised about that. That'll be good. I'll have to pick those. Oh, I have a big cucumber in here. Wow. I haven't seen any growing on that side. That's interesting. The only one I knew of was that little one there. So excellent. I have another one. Oh goodness, it's actually even, oh, I have 2 of them. That one's touching the bricks and bending. Well, good thing I just got lettuce this weekend for making more salads. Chippy has decided he likes the roots of that plant now, and he's dug that up. He's dug up this root. I thought it was like a weed or something, and I tried pulling it, and it was attached. So I'm sure it's part of the tomato plant. So, other than that, we have another tomato growing. Those are still doing okay, even though it's just bent over. And that one's finally turning red. So yay. I gotta make sure I keep watering out here so that they don't split and they make it okay. Oh, looks like I may even have another cucumber wanting to grow. Still have lots of flowers. That's amazing. And then, let's see this side. They're still just tiny buds. So, don't know as though they'll have time to grow or not. But those plants are very healthy and doing well too. And then I have my rugs out here airing out from my spilling that the cologne bottle breaking. Our garage still smells, but our garage smells of cologne, obviously, because it's in the cement. And like I said, I figured I wasn't going to be able to get all of it up, but at least it's in the garage and it wasn't in the kitchen, so it's okay. That yeah, it just, gives a nice scent out there. Not so bad. And then, like I said, I do, one of these to air out more because they smell, and so if I put those in the garage, they're going to smell even more. Smell to garage. So I thought about maybe trading it out with the one I have in the front door, and putting this one out there, and putting that one in the garage, so we have something to wipe our feet on. But, anyways, I'm excited. I have cucumbers again. Hey, happy Tuesday. It's been a while since I've sat at my table and talked with you guys, so I thought I would start here today. I brought down my flower plant more than a month ago, figuring that, oh, that'll look nice in the background when I sit here, and then I haven't sat here and talked. Because it's summer, it's beautiful, I've been outside, and once in a while, I guess, in the living room. I suppose I did a few in the kitchen, but in any case, yeah, here we are. I'm tired, if you can't tell. Oh, yesterday I had taken my walk and I had seen 5 herons in total on my walk, and it was so beautiful, and it was like, oh, best day ever. And then I got to filming a recipe, but I made my zucchini soup. I had made that one earlier and I liked it, and so then I decided to actually film it for a video. And while I was doing that, I got a call from my husband saying that he wasn't feeling well. And he had this eye thing going on again. So this is the second time it's happened, and it just made him anxious. Don't know what's going on, what caused it, whatever. So basically he's just going about his day, this time anyways. He was just working, and all of a sudden in the middle of his vision, like straight ahead, there was like this hand-sized like floater. You get eye floaters sometimes that you see. And it was kind of like that, was in front of him, and he couldn't see anything in that spot of his vision. And it didn't matter if he closed his eyes, right eye, left eye, it was still seeing that spot. And it was like, okay, and that lasted for about 15 minutes-ish or so, 20 minutes. And then he starts getting some red, white flashing lights on this side. And that's just more on the right side, and that didn't matter also. I think if he had his eyes closed, he would be seeing like white flashing lights. And so he just got a little nervous, so he had gone, normally he works kind of more in a back room, more by himself. It's kind of where they have the like envelope type equipment, because he does a lot of mailing type stuff and stuff, printing of things, but stuffing of envelopes and things like that. So a lot of computer work. He works on websites, creating websites and things like that for people. And so he went up into the like store area. He worked at a copy store type place, so he kind of went up there so he'd be around people. And then he called me. Just again, he's got someone online with him going. It's like, okay. So like I said, this is the second time it happened. The first time it happened, he was driving, and it kind of happened to him, and he was like, oh boy, don't need to get into a car accident or anything. And so again, he like called me, and just to make sure he got somebody's on the line with him, kind of distracting him, or kind of being there. And so at that point in time too, I'm kind of like, okay, well, you're having a conversation with me. I'm like, so you're coherent. And I'm like, can you raise your arms? And he's like, I'm driving. And I'm like, so I'm laughing, joking, but not, because I know those are the things they talk about, that if someone's having a stroke, that you have them smile. and see if both sides of their mouth lifts up, or if, you know, part of their face is drooping. You have them raise their arms over their head, because again, if they can only raise one arm, that's a sign. Asking them who, you know, like what day it is, what day of the week, do you know who you are, things like that. So he didn't have any other symptoms, but his father has had a stroke and his grandfather has had a stroke, and so he was kind of worried about that. And so I was like, okay. So he said he was going to leave for home, and I'm like, do you need to talk to me on the way home? And he was like, well, maybe. And all that. I'm like, okay, well, I'll call you back in just a little bit, because I was finishing my filming and stuff, and like, and he needed to walk to his car anyways and stuff. I'm like, I was only going to be like maybe 10 minutes worth, and so that was okay. So I did. I finished up what I needed to do. I called him. He said he was okay. He was only like 15 minutes from home or whatever. I'm like, you know, okay. And so he got home. It was fine. And then a little bit later that night, he decided to do a telehealth visit with a doctor. And he did, and as we expected, they said, well, from what you're telling me, can't really diagnose that over the computer screen. I believe, you know, I think you should go to the ER. And he's like, okay. Kind of what we thought. And so it was like, so he changed his clothes and all that. I changed it because I was wearing shorts and a tank top, and I'm like, well, let me put pants on because we're going to be in an air-conditioned area. And so I did. I changed my clothes. I put on pants and got my shoes on, and I forgot to grab a jacket. It was like going to my closet for a shirt, and like, oh, my sweat jacket isn't there. It's right, because it's on my chair by the computer. I'll grab that when I grab my phone. And well, in the meantime, Cassie had come home, and again, the universe worked it. Everything was beautiful. That for again the time frame and how that worked. Wayne had been telling her what was going on when I was coming downstairs, and she was like, well, do you want me to go with? And he's all like, well, I don't think we're just going to be sitting there at the ER and whatever. And by this point, I'm downstairs, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to be sitting around for hours. I'm like, if you're okay with that. And she's like, well, you don't like to drive at night. And I'm like, true, but I'm like, it's up to you. If you want to, I mean, I can drive. It's okay. I just don't prefer driving at night these days. And she's like, yeah, it's okay. I'll go. So I was like, oh, that's so sweet, sweetheart. And so then I was like, okay, well, I have my phone. I grabbed my bag that I have my ostomy supplies in for just in case. I grabbed a book and a water, and then I was like, oh, okay, yes. And then we're leaving, and I grabbed water for Wayne, even though he had a backpack, he had a computer just in case they were going to keep him overnight or anything. That, you know, he had grabbed phone cords. So we had stuff, but Cassie grabbed, you know, a book, and she grabbed her bag and all that, and nicely drove us up to the hospital. And it wasn't too full of a waiting room. There was a handful of people there and everything, and so it was good. And then they took him back for a couple little short things. So they took him back once, and it was like, we were ready to come. They're like, oh nope, it's only a small room, whatever. So he did that. He came back, and he said, okay, that was kind of almost like another little telehealth visit with a doctor, just to again hear the story, see what's going on, and then they can figure out what tests they wanted to give him. So he came back, you know, like I said, he sat down, and then they called him back again, and we could see that she had an eye chart in her hands, and Cassie was like, oh, I know that eye chart. It goes Z, and then, you know, then you have the next line, whatever. But so I think she knows kind of a couple of the lines of them, kind of by memorization. Or so Wayne went there and then came back again. And he's kind of holding his hand funny, and he was like, well, they did a blood sugar test, so they pricked his finger, and it was still bleeding. And he's like, they didn't give me a Band-Aid. I'm like, I've got a Band-Aid that happens to be in my bag of goodies. I had some things. I could have used some lip balm. My lips were dry, and I'm like, I don't know, that might have been in my purse, which I left in the car. But in any case, I had a Band-Aid, so I gave that to him. That was good. And then he said it was interesting there. He could read the letters, and he knew what they were, but he was having just a little trouble like verbalizing them or whatever. And it was like, oh, okay, interesting. But and then after a little more while, we then got called back into the room. So we went back kind of the ER area. So again, there's this big, you know, main desk, and then there are kind of little bays off to the side. So there are about 3 or 4 of them. 3/4 of a cement wall, and then just curtains in front of each one. So there was a bed in there, and there was one chair. And so I sat on the bed next to Wayne. It was just flat and everything. We were just sitting there for a little while. Nurse came in, to talk to Wayne, so I just kind of got up and went off to the side so they could kind of concentrate on him. And he, asked Wayne again what was going on, and so Wayne told him the story, and he was like, yep, okay. He then went off to go write notes or whatever. And Cassie, hearing the story, was kind of, then he's like, and I'll find you a chair, which she nicely did. She brought a chair over and did that. But Cassie was like, this, what you're saying and the symptoms and all that almost sounds like a detached retina. And again, with her being in the eyeglass industry and doing the eye tests and everything, she's seen the eyeballs where there is a detached retina and all that stuff. And so I thought, yeah, interesting. I kind of had that thought too, that it may be something with the eyeballs. Maybe, her doctor would know maybe what it could be, if it sounded familiar. Or, so in any case, then the doctor came in and she asked him the story, and he said it again and everything. And she's like, okay. She said she's going to go get some machine. Or she was going to get something, and we're all like, what was she going to get? I don't know. And then she came back in with almost like one of those rolling laptop computer things, but it was actually an ultrasound machine. So she put a plastic eye patch, kind of sometimes like when you get an IV in your arm and they put that plastic Band-Aid over it, so for its protection, but they can see through it. I kind of got those two every time that I had the needle in my port, and they would cover it with that like see-through plasticky bandage. So they put that over his eye, so he had his eye closed. They put so a patch over the eyeball. She squirted some of that gel on there, and then she had the wand. And she's like, "You guys can come look if you want to." So Cassie was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Okay." So we went over there and we watched, and she did the wand thing like over his eye, and she's like, "Okay, well here you can see the lens, and then here you can see like where the optic nerve is or whatever," and like it looked like a black circle to me, and I could kind of maybe see when she said the lens, I kind of saw a little something pop in there, and then there was like a space in between, and then there was like, it looked like white static. So she laughed, and then I asked Cassie, I'm like, "Do you see anything?" It's like, no. A doctor was saying that sometimes you'd see, like, it would look kind of like spaghetti down in the bottom of, if there was something or something. And so in the meantime, Cassie was thinking that, again, you get the eye stuff, and so the doctor came back in again, and what did she do? Because she had him laying flat for that one, and then she sat him up, and then she had the flashlight thing. She was like, "Okay, look off to the side," and she took the light, and she was like looking in his eyeball and all that, and then she laughed again, and he's like, "Now I'm seeing spaghetti." All those bright lights. So she came back in, and then she said that, okay, well, from what she could tell, she was, you're not having a stroke because you didn't have any other symptoms. Like there was no headache, any like muscle fatigue, any memory loss, any like loss of speech or anything. She goes, and you were actually seeing things. And usually when you have a stroke, what happens is like vision is taken away. And so it doesn't seem like it was that. And then she goes, as far as it being a detached retina, she goes, I'm not seeing that, but I'm suggesting you go to an ophthalmologist to have them check it out because they have better machines and that's kind of their field and they would know more. And so that's where we're at. She goes, and obviously if it happens again, come back and see us again or whatever. Because she did also mention that maybe there'd be a CT scan, but then she did the ultrasound thing first or whatever. But and I guess again we're thinking of things that was the conclusion they came to. So then she said that she would just finish out the paperwork and get the discharge papers ready. And so in the meantime, Cassie was able to get into her work system and pull up the schedule and scheduled Wayne for an appointment. So he'll be going there today after work and get those, have those machines and get his eyes tested. So Cassie was like this morning, she was like, oh, I want to get in there right away and talk to my, my doctor and tell him and stuff and see what he thinks. And so she did. She wrote us a message back saying, well, he thinks it's this like an ocular migraine or something, but they'll find out, and again, he actually gets his eyes scanned and we'll see. Because there too, his mother has had the retinal nerve detachment and had to have that fixed. So again, also something, kind of DNA, family, don't know. We were also, thinking other things, obviously, stress. His job is stressful. So there's like, you know, the high stress, and then as he says too, and then he's sedentary because he doesn't do much. I mean, we take our little walks every day, and yeah, he walks to and from the car, and he may get 10,000 steps in at work as he's doing or whatever, but that's not really cardio. It's just walking back and forth in his room type of thing. So as far as that, as far as diet, we could probably eat, you know, a little bit better. I mean, I eat more of the soups and the things like that, and he's kind of gone back to kind of snacking at work, not having a real lunch. And then as far as dinner, it depends on if I'm making something or what we're doing for dinner, which then could be, depends. So in any case, that is where we're at. We got there by like 7:30 and we were done by 11, so that wasn't too bad. That was good, because there too, you know, he kept saying to us, like, you know, if you need to go, like telling Cassie, he's like, you could go home and I'll just like call you when I'm done or whatever, because again, it may be a long time, because we heard somebody else in the waiting room say like they've been waiting for 5 hours, and it was just kind of like, oh, all right. And hearing somebody else that said something, yeah, the beds were all full and they had people in the hallway. And so as we were going back to the room, we did see one of the people that had come into the emergency room like after us, that she got, you know, she had been taken back, and she was sitting on a bed in the hallway as a nurse was talking to her. But in any case, ours was fairly simple, in and out, the good and the bad. So good, yay, it's, you know, it's not a stroke. Bad, we still don't know specifically what it is, so then you're always kind of, you know, wondering. But step by step, we'll go from here. We'll figure out whether it is an eye thing or not. And if not, in the meantime, he has to also find a new general practitioner, because his doctor retired like a month ago, within the last month or whatever. We got the letter. So he tried that yesterday too. He tried to sign up for a new doctor, and it like spit him out of the system and made him sign in again. And so he signed in again, and he tried again, and he got as far as like getting the doctor and then like making an appointment, and then it spit him out of the system again, and he was just like, all right, I'll have to call or whatever, try to get an appointment in. So yeah, if it's not this, then you know, maybe we'll just go for a CT scan, just again for that reassurance that there isn't anything. So again, as he said, either, you know, like stroke wise or whatnot, or because there too, he's been a witness of at one of his workplaces that one of his coworkers kind of like crumpled to the floor at one point. She had a brain aneurysm, and she just like crumpled and then was like kind of moaning in pain or yelling in pain. And he was the one that was there and like had to call 911 and things like that. So that's another thought in his mind of, you know, is it something like that, or so who knows. By the time we got home, then it was like 11:30, and obviously he was tired, he was wiped, and for me, I'm like, yeah, I was tired, and I'm like, it's 11:30, it's bedtime anyways, you know. Usually I go to bed by midnight. By 11, I try to start wrapping up, and I'm in bed by like midnight. So I'm like, I'm not going to be booting up my computer and starting anything, because that's just foolish, and I was tired. So I went to bed. I kind of seemed to toss and turn though last night. I don't know. And then today we had, let's see, wait, did I finish off that story? I think we finished that off, yeah. So we'll figure out what happens, like I said, with the eye doctor. So that's the Wayne stuff. So that, like I said, it went okay. It was wonderful that Cassie was able to be with us and help out and just be there as part of conversation and support and all that. And obviously we were updating Mandy in Korean. She's like, please let me know that Dad's okay so I don't throw up on my during my morning class. And so we're like, yeah, you know, again, he didn't have any other symptoms. He was okay. He was just stressing out about this. But yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be okay. But then today we had an electrician coming over by Mom. So they were going to be there between 9 and 12. So same, I got up early so I could get myself ready, have breakfast, and be ready. That if they were coming by 9, very nicely, again, they called beforehand. So I did a little bit on the computer and whatnot, and then I was, you know, kind of reading, like, okay, what can I do? Again, something that it'd be easy, that if I get pulled away, I'll be okay. And so I'm like, I can do dishes. Let's start that. So I got halfway through the dishes, and I got the phone call that they'd be coming in like 20 minutes. And so I was like, okay. And I remembered I had to bring a light bulb over there because we wanted to get the patio lighting checked and all that. We figured the light bulb that was in there was probably burnt out. So I did find a light bulb here. That was good. took that over, got over there and everything, and then we explained a couple areas that needed looking at, and so that was good. Got an estimate, more than we expected, but it was like, you know, all right, the work, it needs to be done. So that was good. We, yeah, agreed to that, and there were two guys that was there, like middle-aged, you know, gentleman, and then young boy, who actually said that he had just graduated high school, and he was doing so a couple. Well, yeah, this is what, September or so, yeah. So if he graduated in June, because I asked how long he's been with the company, he said a couple months. And all that, and I'm like, oh, because he was so tall, and then he said, like, he just graduated, and he's been there a couple months or something, I'm like, oh, wait, you're too young to have graduated from college. And then he was like, I'm so happy to be done with high school and all that. I'm like, okay, so that's good. 18 and being taken on as an apprentice, and this kind of being schooling. Maybe he's going to college along with this. I don't know, I didn't ask. But in any case, there was a young one, and he was learning, which is awesome. And so yeah, together they got the work done within a couple hours, and it was good, looked good. They cleaned up. They wore their little booties on the inside, which I just think is so cute. The patio light thing was actually an easy fix, so that was good. So that's working again. I was doing the other work, and it was kind of cute because the suet brick was already all gone. Wayne replaces those on Saturdays, and today's only Monday, and the suet's gone. Sometimes it lasts a week. There were a couple times it actually lasted like 2 weeks. That was just odd. It's like, did you not like this one, or is there something wrong with it, or whatever? But, and then sometimes they are gone within a couple days, and it's so funny. So I'm sitting there, a blue jay showed up again, and it's like, again, yeah, I haven't seen one in so long, but this last couple of weeks that you know, when I've been over there, the blue jays come, and so he's, you know, gets on a branch and he's looking, nope, wasn't there. Okay, so he goes flying off. Then he came back a second time and he looked again, and he flew. So that interesting. And then the little sparrows come in, and they were looking for it. So I thought, all right, I can like just reach where we have the little suet cage on the tree and everything, but so I'm like, I can do this. So after the guys were all good and done and everything, I got out there and I got the suet brick down. And while I'm doing that, the birds like kind of flew in and they saw me, and some flew off, but one landed in the tree. So it was too funny. So I'm getting the cage off, and as I get it off, and I'm like, take a step over or whatever, and that one goes flying off, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, I'm just right here. I'm just gonna go in the house, get you some more food. So I did. I got the new brick in there and everything, and then came out and I got it all, you know, set up. And again, in the meantime, the birds were on the bottom and they were trying to eat whatever had fallen to the ground. So I'm sure they will be very, very happy that they have another treat, some more food. But it's warm this week. As I said, I think tomorrow is going to be the warmest day, or like the warmest day they think for the rest of the year. Like this is going to be the high. It's going to be in the 80s. I think today my computer said 80 when I got home here and everything. That I was like, oh, all right. I thought it was gonna be like 77. Tomorrow is gonna be 80, but so we'll have it just a little bit warmer, and then it'll start cooling down again. But you know, still upper 70s, which is nice. Like I said, possibility of rain Friday-ish, Saturday. I'll have to water the garden again. I started salads last night too before. Well, as Wayne was waiting for the telehealth doctor to come on. I was like, okay, same. I want to do something that's not making too much noise, so that when, you know, he does get connected to the call, one, I can hear, and because he wanted me nearby, just in case he was forgetting anything to tell the person, or if they were asking a question and he was kind of having to think about it. So yeah, I started making salads, and we do the lettuce, the romaine lettuce, so it comes in the 3 stalks, and I had 1 stalk out, and I got through like a quarter of it, or whatever. I had like 5 bowls out, and I had a couple lettuce leaves. I got a little bit of lettuce in each bowl, and that's when the doctor was on, so I went in there and sat and listened to everything, and then we're heading out. So I'm like, okay, well, I could put all this in 1 bowl, but they're already all I'm like, I'm just gonna cap each of these, put a cover on all of them, put them in the fridge. And that was it too, so I told Cassie just in case she was staying home. And I'm like, okay, well, FYI, or maybe even told her after, because again, she stayed up a little bit later than we did. I'm like, FYI, the salad bowls in the fridge, they only have a teeny tiny little bit of lettuce in each one, so don't think it's a whole salad. I go grab it and go, oh, there's only a little bit. So hopefully I have the energy for that right now. Like, I just want to like sit and relax right now, but there are things to do. Like I said, I've only done half the dishes, so I have to finish dishes and then finish off my salads and get one of those cucumbers out of my garden. I think I showed you that too, that I actually have 3 cucumbers. I knew I had 1. So I was like, okay, don't need cucumbers from the store, so I get the lettuce. And I have the carrots and stuff, so, and there too, with making the soup, it's called for shredded carrots. So I'm like, okay, again, while the food processor is dirty, you know, is used for the carrots, I'm like, I'll just shred some more carrots to put on the salads. And yeah, I didn't get to do that. But so today I'm like, oh yeah, now it's too late. So I'm washing everything. But I figured out I'd get back to the salads, and then, like I said, with the one cucumber grew so long that it actually hit the brick of the garden, and it's like turned, so it's got a little bend to it that is like growing out. I'm like, okay, I should probably pick that one first then, instead of my other one. But so I used that one up. But yeah, to have 3 cucumbers is very nice. So got to make my salads and get those used up before they start turning and whatever, and we eat them while they're fresh. That will be good. Other than that, I think I'm relaxing. I said maybe Wayne will be up for a walk when we get home. Maybe not. Maybe I'll take a walk later. Again, it was warm out there now. When I came back from Mom's, I'm like, oh, too warm. And this morning I said there wasn't really time to get out. I woke up early enough. I wasn't going to get up any earlier to try to get the exercising in. I'm like, today will be my day's break. I can exercise the rest of the week. So that's my excitement for this week so far. Yeah, that's it. It's Tuesday. So we'll let you know what the rest of the week holds when it happens.